Welcome to Public Safety Talk Radio, the podcast for all of our heroes in public safety, including law enforcement professionals, firefighters, EMTs, corrections officers, healthcare workers, and more. This show is produced by the POCUA and is founded upon its Soundness initiative.
This episode is sponsored by Police Mortgage. Police Mortgage is a full-service mortgage company dedicated to serving police officers and first responders. Founded in 2008, Police Mortgage offers a variety of mortgage products tailored to meet the needs of those who serve and protect. Police Mortgage, for first responders who are second to none.
Hi, I'm Ken Bader, your host for Public Safety Talk Radio, and I know that I promised you a guest this week, but I preempt that with a special announcement. I come to you today not only as the host and producer of Public Safety Talk Radio, but most importantly as the co-founder and CEO of the Police Officers Credit Union Association. And I have to announce that come December 31st, 2025, Bader Training and Consulting, the owner of Police Officers Credit Union Association, will be shutting down the POCUA at that time. A lot of emotion with that, and I've detailed some of the reasons, probably most of the reasons, and some of our history in a fairly long letter post, however you want to look at it, which I've shared with the POCUA. And has shared on our website on btcinc.net. And a lot of reasons. One of the main reasons is the obvious reason is that the upcoming conference, which was originally planned to be in conjunction with the Law Enforcement Survival Summit in Las Vegas this September, has been met with a very low enthusiasm. Some of that is just bad timing. I know that there's a couple of supporters of the POCUA that have annual meetings and some other things of that nature, which just doesn't allow them to send their original larger group at that time in September. But also what I've seen, especially since COVID, with some mergers, with some very supportive police credit union CEOs retiring, seeing an obvious dip in attendance in our conference, as well as a dip in membership, and more importantly, a dip in enthusiasm and motivation for what I certainly feel is important. I think that collaboration has certainly gone down a bit among police credit unions, and some of that is just simply the numbers. It's my personal opinion, not as a credit union person or a law enforcement supporter, but as a businessman that looks at the landscape of the credit union industry as well as police credit unions. And it's my opinion and estimation that there's probably only about 20 credit unions, police credit unions, at least as I would define a police credit union, that are viable business that should be collaborating together. And even with that number, it makes it somewhat limiting in not only a growth for an actual business, and I've always thought of the POCUA as a business. It just does not have the legs ahead of it. So I know that there are still a number of folks out there, a number of police credit unions out there that are viable and doing the right thing for law enforcement families. So for those particular institutions, I give you two options going into 2026. One, you've heard me say this a number of times. I think that the PO is more important than the CU in the POCUA. I think that we need to focus on law enforcement first and being a credit union second if you are a police credit union. For those that share that mentality, I encourage you in 2026 or before to really look at what the Wounded Blue is doing. They've created a new Wounded Blue 100 group for businesses and businessmen and women that truly support law enforcement to be able to network and support this great organization. I know that that has only probably been in existence for about 6 months now, so it is fledgling. And I know from 23 years ago or so what it's like to build a fledgling association. But they're doing the right things for the right reasons. And if you're looking for an opportunity to network with other like-minded law enforcement supporters out there that run businesses, I strongly encourage you to look at joining the Wounded Blue 100 later this year or going into 2026. For those of you that want more of a credit union slant, and I certainly can understand if you're a small to medium sized police credit union, you only have so much of a budget to send your board of directors, to send your executives to possibly one conference. Then I strongly suggest that you take a good look at the National Council of Firefighters Credit Unions. I've had a couple of conversations with them, great people, and they've already started what I believe is called the First Responder Credit Union Academy, which is specifically for board members of public safety related credit unions. And I know that for a lot of the small to medium sized police credit unions out there that can only afford to send their great board of directors to one conference and join one organization, if that is truly the case, then take a very close look at the National Council of Firefighter Credit Unions. I think that what I've seen from the outside, their academy is top notch, offers something special, and gives your board of directors not only a conference that they deserve. I believe they're going to be in Tucson in October of 2026. Don't quote me on that, but I believe it's in October of 2026. So they give you some great locations to have the conference, but also give you some great credit union education that you need for your volunteers. So take a look at both of those organizations. Obviously, it's my opinion that if you can afford to join both the Wounded Blue 100 and the National Council of Firefighters Credit Unions, that you do both. I think you would cover all of your bases with that, being able to have some great networking collaboration with other law enforcement businesses. I've been involved in the Wounded Blue for the last 3 years at least, and I have found the networking with other law enforcement businesses to be top notch. That is certainly a great option. And if you also join the National Council of Firefighters Credit Unions, you would also have a great opportunity for education for your great volunteers out there. I am not naive to think that most credit unions will have the budget to join both of them. So I simply say, as I had mentioned in my letter, that you take a close look at both and see what organization is best for your police credit union going into 2026. So obviously, we will still have a POCUA until December 31st of 2025. I will do everything that I can to support and most importantly promote the current POCUA members as the best police credit unions for first responders out there. I will, of course, be attending the Law Enforcement Survival Summit this September. Even though there won't be a public safety business summit, I will be there and I will be promoting all of our POCUA constituents in one way, shape, or form. As I go to other events throughout the year, I will certainly be promoting our POCUA members. And while this will be the end of this season of Public Safety Talk Radio, I certainly expect to have at least one more, maybe more seasons of Public Safety Talk Radio going into 2026. And especially if I have an opportunity to do some special episodes between now and December 31st of 2025 that is going to support and promote our POCUA police credit unions as the best credit unions for first responders out there over the next few months, I'm certainly going to do that. Obviously, if you are a current constituent of the Police Officers Credit Union Association, and there's anything that I can do for you to support what you're doing for law enforcement families, then please don't hesitate to contact me. Um, Again, yeah, I'm very proud of what we were able to do over the last 2 decades plus. Although, as I mentioned, as I wrote, it may not have always been profitable. But it certainly was almost always rewarding. And I will look back on my time with the Police Officers Credit Union Association with a lot of great memories and a lot of joy. So I wish you nothing but the best and hope that you are serving law enforcement families at the highest level that you possibly can. Thank you, and goodbye for now.
Public Safety Talk Radio is produced by the POCUA. POCUA is a consortium of financial institutions serving law enforcement as well as other first responders and public safety professionals. To learn more about our association and to find one of our credit unions or service providers near you, go to www.policecreditunions.com. And always remember, if you aren't working with one of our POCUA credit unions, you're just banking with an institution that just so happens to serve first responders. As a public safety professional, you and your family deserve better. Find a POCUA credit union today.